Well, let's turn our attention to this now. In less than a year, the general elections will take place, and political parties are, as you can imagine, in full campaign mode. The DA's choice of advertising on the back of MTN recharge vouchers has not gone down well with the ANC, and this past weekend, the Sunday Times was accused of behaving unethically by giving information about the communications minister to the Democratic Alliance. Well, the Sunday Times has denied those allegations, and the MTN company also insists that its association with the DA is purely a business transaction. But let's talk hypothetically now. What if that was not the case? Is there a problem with big business or perhaps publications associating themselves with political parties? Independent analyst Paul Graham joins us now in studio to discuss that relationship. Paul, let's take the US as a case study. We have companies such as Motown Records, publications such as the New York Times coming out in public and saying we support Barack Obama's re-election. Why don't we see that in South Africa, do you think?
Well, those are endorsements, and we occasionally see it in South Africa. One or other of the newspaper might, closer to the election, suggest something, but people have become very cautious of connecting their company, their identity directly to a political party. As for financial support for a party, in the United States, it has to be done by individuals, not companies. Perhaps that's romantic to think that in South Africa, individuals alone could carry the costs of a party. But a party needs to get out its message. Occasionally, companies will convey that message. Normally, it's wise to say this was paid for by the political party, because otherwise the messenger can be confused with the message. And that seems to have happened this time.
Yes, that seems to be the case with MTN. But why would it be such a big problem? Is it unethical for perhaps a big company to say we're in support of this particular candidate, we're supporting this particular political party? Would that be unethical, do you think?
Look, our approach is that it should be public, because otherwise the candidate might win, the candidate might then do favors for that party because of the support, and we would never know. An MTN cell mast, a road, and so on. So make it public, make it transparent, and let's encourage people to support the parties they believe are worth supporting.
Now, the ANC has come out and condemned this particular move. Do you think it's a case of sour grapes for them because they didn't come up with this particular election campaign to target recharge vouchers or people who use recharge vouchers? Do you think they have any merit, any grounds to actually stand up and say what you're doing is wrong, DA?
They've got no grounds whatsoever. And in fact, I hope that in the next year, all the parties will accept that other parties have the perfect right to campaign in those areas that the party thinks are its own. This idea of no-go areas, either in the media or on the ground, really has to change.
Do you think there's a fear among certain organizations and companies that if we do associate ourselves with perhaps the likes of the IFP or the DA or whichever opposition parties they choose to associate themselves with, that they'll be shunned by the ANC and they'll be shunned by they won't receive tenders and support from the government?
There's a fear. I haven't yet seen the evidence myself, but given this reaction, that's going to add to the chill. Companies that decide to fund parties may find it wiser to fund the electoral system itself or the IEC fund or all the parties than pick a particular party because of this. But nevertheless, we encourage people to support parties and to tell us they've supported parties. And
of the media and publications, should there be a declaration by any media house to say this is what we stand for as far as politics are concerned?
I think people would sometimes find it better because the suspicion is they do stand for something anyway. Might be better if they just pinned their colours to the mast.
And we'll have to leave it there for now. Very interesting topic. We could talk all day about this. Thanks again for your time. Independent analyst Paul Graham.
News that moves. eNCA.com.